Thank you so much for joining us. So, wherever you are in the world, I hope that you're in a quiet enough space where you can focus on the music and the sound of my voice. Oh, Alejandra, thank you. So take a moment and allow the music and my voice to invite within you a very open and personal space within yourself. What we're going to visit today, we call the heart garden. We call it the heart garden for a reason. It's a place within each of us where our heart and God's heart reside together. We can experience that divine connection. And furthermore, the heart garden is a wonderful place. It is exactly the area, the environment, the conditions that we need within ourselves to experience our true happiness, peace, insights, and adventures that are very much fitting for our own peace, restoration, as well as growth. So as we breathe and settle in, imagine a door opens up in front of you. And this door emits a very welcoming, peaceful presence that feels so familiar to you. And I invite you to move through this door and find yourself in your heart garden. It may be a beach, it may be a wooded area, it may be open fields of flowers, it may be a mountaintop, it could be a lake. Whatever it is the perfect place for you to be. Notice the smells, notice the sounds. Maybe there's birds flying around. Feel the sun on your face, warming you. This is a place to take an absolute respite. You can come here anytime. And this is also a place of connection. Each of us in our lives has spirit guides. They may manifest as a certain animal or a group of spirits, angels, ancestors, ascended masters, saints. However the support manifests in your life, this is a place of direct connection. This is a place that your guides know that they can come and find you without distraction. And so invite your guides to step forward in this moment. And who shows up for you? And as we sit in this beautiful place within ourselves where our guides connect, receive any blessings that your guides have for you today. Are there any messages that they have? Maybe a specific individual guide presence doesn't show up. Perhaps there's a feeling. Perhaps there's a sense that grows within you of peace or of joy. Or perhaps excitement and curiosity bloom within you. These guides want you to know that they are always here for you. They have always been here with you, and they will continue to walk this journey with you all the way through to the end. And they will be there to help you transition when the time comes. They will never impose upon us. They will always wait for our invitation. And so we thank our guides for showing up in our lives today and being with us. Thank you for the feedback. This is also a place of connection for ourselves. In the Heart Garden, all of our versions of ourselves that we have already been are present and live here and continue here. And so we invite our inner children to be present with us in this Heart Garden today. Each of our inner children has a beautiful, expressive trait. Our infant has an absolutely beautiful connection to our needs. Our infants can help us get in touch with our needs. For it is the entire mission of an infant to have its needs met. And when its needs are met, it feels satisfied and at peace and can grow and has basic trust. And there's our toddler. Their energy becomes self-determined. As they explore the world, they begin to individualize themselves from their parents. They realize that they are not their parents. They are not their mother. They are not their father. They are something uniquely separate and sacred. And they begin to climb everything and put everything in their mouths and explore the world with all of their senses. Our toddlers bring such curiosity and inventiveness to the table. And we invite our toddlers in. And our preschoolers. Our preschoolers bring the beginnings of learning and social connection. Furthering on the work that the toddler started, they begin to develop a strong personal identity and make bold and strong I statements and assert their will even more strongly. And as they develop a strong identity, they begin to discover and know who they are and begin to bring that into the world as they begin to make social connections. And then there's a school age part of ourselves. This part of ourselves expounds upon what the preschool started with learning, with developing more cognitive abilities, a greater self-identity, but also the capacity for teamwork, for relating with others, building friendships that may last a lifetime or may just last a few weeks or a year or two. We begin to learn from other people, trade ideas back and forth. And then there's our wonderful adolescent. So much happens with the adolescent. The adolescent's energy is fundamentally shifting as hormones kick in, and their identity becomes even stronger as adolescents move out of the home. Their whole trajectory is outward into the world and away from the home, the safe place, the harbor that was created by the parents. And it can be a very tumultuous time for most of us. The adolescent brings daring and growth and creation to the table. And they develop relationships and try out new ways of connecting with the world. Trial and error. And there's the young adult who comes out of high school or college, enters the world, establishes their power or attempts to, establishes careers, maybe starts a family, goes on journeys. We continue the the trial and error in our lives, all through our lives. And so we welcome all of our inner children that are here with us today. We can always find them here. And so see all of your inner children in front of you. Which one of them wants to say something to you now? Maybe they all clamor to speak at once. Invite them to come forward one at a time. And take note, are there any of your inner children who are experiencing or expressing a discomfort or a pain? Are they withholding from participating? Do any of your inner children have an unmet need? And very likely, one or more do. And these unmet needs do not have to stay unresolved throughout the rest of our lives. We can actually resolve these needs from this place. There's a wonderful thing about the heart garden. There's a wonderful thing about being human. We are so often stuck in the thinking space of the third dimension, and time moves in one direction, and certainly it does. But as humans, we have a capacity for transcending that to a certain degree. Our memory is a fantastic example of this. In our memories, we can go back. Some of us can experience being an infant. I have memories that go all the way back to being in diapers. I've spoken to some who have memories of being in utero. And I've spoken to some who have no memories because they've blocked them out because of trauma. Our inner children are us. Everything they experienced, we experience. Anything unresolved within our inner children shows up in our lives in many different ways. And so we can connect with our inner children directly in this place of the heart garden, and we can draw upon the help and support of our spirit guides who are here with us. And we have what it takes to address the needs of our unmet needs and within our inner children. It may take courage, especially if something is particularly painful. And it is not something that we have to do alone. In fact, it's wonderful to do it in partnership with others who can support us and guide us in this process. And so we offer this today, that as you connect with your inner children, please know that they are receiving the same healing that Wendy is offering. You don't have to know exactly what it is. Healing energy follows intention. And so I invite you all to take a moment and set an intention for your inner children, all of them as a group. We ask that their needs that they have today can be met, that they can have comfort and peace where they have pain, that they can have rest and restoration when they are tired. There's another place in the heart garden that Wendy and I call the crystal healing gazebo. For us, that's what it looks like, a beautiful crystal lattice of intricate, beautiful gazebo structure, to be to be awkward in saying it. But for us, what it is a place where our heart and God's heart connect directly. And it's a personally sacred space that we can enter into. And if it fits for you, I invite you all to enter your own crystal healing gazebo and bring all of your inner children with you. You may see your spirit guides stand around and hold a space and bless the moment. But that in this place of healing energy, allow your inner children to integrate with you. Know that any pains, any needs that they have, all they have to do is make them known. And all we have to do as the adults is to be aware of them. They still speak through us. And at times like what we're going through as a whole world together, these very challenging times trigger us. They trigger our fears or anxieties. They may trigger excitement, adventure. They may trigger purpose. They may be the keys to unlocking our potential. But all of us is being offered an opportunity to go within, to the core places of ourselves, to no longer chase the symptoms. And by symptoms, I mean anxiety and mood disorders, or even thoughts, ways of thinking, patterns of feeling that we are caught up in, that when a trigger arises, we react. We're being given an opportunity through this world event to go to the root, to go to the source of the unmet need, to go to the infant and say, you are loved, and I will love you, and I will meet your needs. And then we pay attention to when we are hungry, to when we are tired. And when we're tired, take a rest, even a 5-minute pause. When we're hungry, stop and eat. Eat something healthy, drink some water. Our bodies speak to us. Our infants speak to us through our body needs. And our toddlers speak to us through moments of curiosity, adventure, wanting to explore things, maybe explore new ideas. But they can also speak to us through fear, through paralysis. If we're afraid to approach a situation, our toddler may be experiencing being stuck in fear. We can go to them. We can ask them what they're afraid of. And we can help them deal with it. We can release our children from being responsible for solving the problems of their past. We can release their energy to be innocent again. Our children did nothing wrong. And our children are free. We can free them in our lives to be expressive now, to express their joy, to express their sadness. We as the adults can create space where that is a safe thing to do. And so in this place of the Heart Garden today, in the space of the Crystal Healing Gazebo, allow the love of God to touch your hearts. God will never impose upon our lives. God always waits for an invitation. And so if you've been praying or seeking for a long time to have a need met, Come to this place and connect. Dare to envision the possibility that your needs can be met. Maybe not in the way and the timing of our choosing. Maybe we have to let go of what our needs being met looks like to discover that it's already been supplied for. It's been right there in front of us the whole time. And it may be in the very place of our resistance. And so we can face that resistance, understand the motivations, understand our motivations more clearly. It doesn't happen all at once. It's something to practice. It's something to cultivate within ourselves, this connection. And so we offer this heart garden to you as a call to action. That this connection is natural and pure within you, and you can come here anytime you need to understand your children, to spend time with them, to play in your heart garden. Here you can be anything you want to be. You can be a bird and fly on the wind. You can be a dolphin or a fish and swim in the water. Or you can be a dust cloud floating in space. It's your heart garden. It's your experience. Your imagination is vast. Your potential is great. This is a place to come to abandon the limitations that we have, to test ourselves, to explore, and also to connect with the guidance that's in our lives. And to check in with our inner children. How are they? And so as we draw this meditation to a close, please know that whatever has shown up for you today, you can handle. It's the perfect thing to see today because you are ready. Maybe it's a joy that you haven't seen for some time. Or maybe there's a pain or a need that shows up for you more clearly that you can understand. Know that it's here for you now because you're ready to be present with it. It is not here to hurt you. It is here to heal. And you can heal. And we can help you do that if you would like. And so we take a moment to ground ourselves. And that can look like placing opposite hands on opposite knees. We're just directing the energy of your focus back to your body, back to your breath. Back to the room that you're sitting in. Maybe the birds are outside or the sun's shining in. But know that you are safe. Know that you are loved and supported in ways that maybe you can't yet see. Maybe you've been afraid to ask for, or maybe you've been boldly asking for and frustrated to the heavens for lack of answers. Your time is now. You have been heard. And there is a bright future before you if you're bold enough to envision it. The pain of the past does not have to be the pain of the future. And so we welcome you back to this space and thank you so much for for joining us and being with us today. How do you help an inner child who is terrified that she will be in trouble or punished for asking to have their needs met? I can relate. Well, the heart garden is a very safe place. And when you are connecting with that child, what has worked for us is that we call in one of our guides. One of my guides is He-Man. I loved He-Man. I thought he was the coolest dude. He's strong. Now it's Wolverine. I love Wolverine. He's fantastic to me. But you call upon a guide. One of your guides, out of all the ones that are there, is the precise one who brings a blessing to you. Each of the guides brings a blessing to your life. And for some it's courage, for some it's peace, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. There's so many gifts. And so call upon a guide. There is a guide who holds the right power to help that child feel safe, right? And when we help the child feel safe, then they can ask for their needs. And when they can ask for their needs, they can begin to move into the space of being receptive to those needs. They may be distrustful. There's going to be something that they're going to have to grow through, right? And so you can't change the history of the past. You can't change what happened. But what you can change, we've experienced this many times, you can change the energetic experience. You can give that child the experience of being safe. You can give your inner children the experience of having their needs met. And it may seem counterintuitive to the mind. The mind is so used to being concrete, or at least the adult mind is so used to being concrete. We connect in the space on a level that's less concrete. It's more fluid. It's open to change. And when we make that change on a fundamental level, we connect with the energy of that kid, the energy of ourselves as that kid. Because remember, these are dissociated parts of ourselves that are stuck in traumatic moments, whether it's a capital T or a lowercase t, it's stuck. And so when we go there, we have to journey to that kid. And we bring the guides with us to bless us, to support us. And then their energy, the supportive energy that our guides offer, is brought to that child. And that child can then feel and experience something new. And when they experience safety, then they can make a new choice. They can choose to move into that safety. And as they move into the safety bubble, it's like reaching in and putting a bubble around that child. Mm-hmm. Whatever environment they've been experiencing from the past, we're blessing. And we're extracting that child and bringing them through space and time into the present moment with us, where it is safe, because we've created a safe place. And that child can remember perhaps there, but it's not real to them anymore. Now the reality for that child is being blessed and being safe and being held. And then with the energy of that shift, that child can experience being reintegrated, so no longer dissociated. And as it reintegrates, it experiences all the strength and wisdom that you as an adult have accumulated throughout your lifetime. And also, you get the benefit from whatever blessings and joys and traits that were locked away or limited, locked away with that child. Now they come home, they're home, and they're also with us fully. In a safe way to answer that, look at what that person represents to you. If anyone else saw someone in the heart garden that they don't, why would that person be there? They're not a guide, and they're not me. Like in dreams, people and places and things, events, represent aspects of us, ways of us, whether it's a mental expression or emotional one. So if something showed up for you in your heart garden that was triggering for you, or just curious for you, it was not an invasion of any sorts at all. It's a totally safe place. If there's anything unsettling that you encounter, it's simply because you feel unsettled within yourself, and it's that unsettlement showing up in a way that you would recognize and make sense of.